All right, let's get started looking at these wide receivers that are less than 90% rostered. I'm bringing them all out here. This is going to be by targets for late week 9. Parker Washington had 8 targets this last week here. Did pretty good something with it, too. He got some good yardage there. You see they're lit up like a Christmas tree. Travis Hunter was put on IR. Open up some targets for everyone else here. Well, Brian Thomas Jr. Was questionable here with a little ankle injury, too. Diami Brown, hey, he got injured with a concussion. So is all left to Parker Washington with those 8 targets. How about Shakir here with 7? He's always seeming to be getting some action there in Buffalo. Didn't score quite as good. Troy Franklin, same deal. He's 24th in touches, 23rd in scoring. All right. But this last week, he didn't do so good. He had the touches and targets, though, right? And this is with Mims out. Right? Mims had a concussion too. So Troy Franklin, 16. Here comes the 2 Indies. Alec Pierce. Look at that. Great pickup here. He did some points here. He's been coming on the last 4 weeks. He's been scoring solidly with 6 targets this one, 6 targets for Downs. Downs has been doing pretty good here too. All the Indy receivers. Daniel Jones has got them rocking. These 2 are still available. 6 touches each last week. How about Malik Washington? He's been getting the touches since Tyreek Hill. Heck, all year he's been getting the touches. Just he hasn't really been scoring great. You can see he had another yardage, but 1 touchdown for the year, 183. Gets a little rushing too, kind of a utility player there. How about OZ? Zacchaeus here. Look at it. He got on the scoreboard. Oh, he's here. He's 32nd in touches. Always getting touches. Finally got a touchdown here. Get in the end zone. But his job has been to keep Luther Burton out of action. Right? That's what it's been like all year. Keeping him down as long as OZ's healthy. I don't see that Luther Burton is ever going to take off. How about Isavis here? He got some scoring, right? 74th in targets, though, right? He ain't been getting a whole lot here. So, hey, with the top 2 going on, there with Jamar Chase, all world, everything, leading by targets by far. Look at that, 83, if you count in the 2 rushing attempts, too. Whew, not much room for him. How about Rashid Shaheed? He's always here on this list, isn't he? Getting some good targets here. You can see that him and Chris Olave is the number 5 in touches or targets. And Shaheed here's 15th. They just throw the heck to their wide receivers there. Shaheed, he's always involved. So he's always a deep player to have here. Slayton pops in here. All right. I think he was their leading receiver here. So, hey, he's not been doing great. Wandale's there too. But, hey, 5 targets this last week for him. Calvin Alston, 5 targets. He's coming on a little bit here for the Steelers. 4 targets for Jamison Williams. Boy, none in the first half. I was worried I have him. I had a choice. I actually picked up Parker Washington this right before when I saw the injury to Travis Hunter. But I went ahead and I didn't know I went with J-Mo, and he got through it, the touchdown at the end, sweating that out. I don't know. They just ain't getting him involved. Jacoby Myers, he got some targets and touches, 4 targets, but hey, nothing with him. Juwan Jennings, hey, he's been a little bit more productive with he's 51st in touches for the year. So, and he makes the list. Christian Kirk out there too. He got his 4 touches. Welcome back. He hadn't been doing anything all year though. Here's kind of a big one. Tory Horton. With Cooper Kupp was out, right? Cooper Kupp is questionable for next week. So, but hey, it's been all or nothing for this. You can see he's 96th in touches, 15 on the year. So, I mean, I don't know how you trust that. What's that averaging 2 a game? But you can see he's 37th because, hey, 5 touchdowns. He does catch the long one. I don't know how you're going to pick the week that's happened. If you'd have been trying that the last 3 weeks, got nothing. So he pops up, of course, because that injury to Cooper Kupp. And Demariel Douglas pops up with a good one here, too. All right, scores pretty good. He's hit that every once in a while, gets that touch of 4 targets from him. And Diami Brown, right? He had his 4 touches, but he's out now with a concussion possibly for next week. So that's a look at the touches. Let's go back and now Let's show them by percentage owned to see which one of these you can probably get. It looks like Shakir's by far. Parker Washington's only 8%. 75. These Indies, 60 and 50%, they're out there. They're scoring each week here. And Shahid's always a good. And Jamison Williams, 89. He just made the list. Well, he hadn't been doing a whole bunch with it. You can see 41st on the year. So, and all these others are available. That's a look at some of the percentages. Let's get them ranked. All right, let's rank them up here. Of course, Jamison Williams is my number one here. He's below 90%. I kind of don't blame him. Hey, 41st in scoring on the year, 57th in targets, right? You can count that 27 total touches or targets, rushing or passing attempts. Hey, he's down. Look at that. But he is 41st on a great team. And the kicker is he's got an easy matchup, the 29th schedule at Washington. Why wouldn't you want to get him go up and going with everything else is going so good for Detroit? Get Jamison Williams up and running. So you got to have him. Troy Franklin here, right? Kind of a disappointment. Had 6 targets last week. Didn't score that great. But hey, Las Vegas awaits. 28th schedule. Nice schedule for him. And you get the little kicker of Mims, questionable with injury, so concussion. So how much would they be focusing on him anyway? So Troy Franklin might pop back up here. He's the 24th in scoring anyway. 23rd in scoring, 24th in touches. Get Troy Franklin with this easy matchup. He would be one of the tops here. How about Shakir and Pierce? Shakir's just always here. He only had 7 targets this last week. Didn't score as much, but he's getting healthy targets right here. And even though they got a tough matchup at Miami, you'd still want him for the season, right? Shakir. And, of course, we got Pierce. Alec Pierce, he's been coming on. We had that concussion, little hiccup in the middle, but he's been solid these last 3 weeks, right? And tough matchup against Atlanta, but hey, he's in there. He's been scoring good. One of the top offensive teams. Daniel Jones just keeps it rolling. All right, number 5. Look at that, 14 touchdown passes. Alec Pierce, hey, he could grab one this next week at Atlanta, right? So you just never know. Get him in there. Tez Johnson, right? And Slayton, of course, coming off a bye here, Tez Johnson. Now the question is, Mike Evans is out, right? Yes. Ibuka, hey, he'll be the competition for him this week. But McMillan, everyone else is hurt. Godwin, they mentioned they might bring him back, but hey, Tez Johnson, load him up for another week. 19th. Home game against New England. Look out for Tez Johnson. Slayton over here. I mean, hey, he had 5 targets this last week, right? Well, hey, they're probably going to have to get him up and get him going. They've got a nice, easy 32 schedule here at Chicago. Why not try to get Slayton come alive a little bit with these 5 targets? Hey, nice, easy matchup. They're going to be behind, trying to score. That'd be a good offensive game at Chicago. Get Slayton in there, possibly. How about the 2 San Franciscos? Now, Pearshaw, he's probably going to be out again, right? Questionable PCI. From what I read, it doesn't sound like he's coming back. Ayuk's not coming back, so it's going to be Jennings again, right? Well, it would be higher on Jennings than his 4 targets. Yeah, he got a middle-of-the-road schedule here with the Rams. But Jennings, get him in there. He'd be one of the top ones, too. Pearshaw, hey, the reason I got him listed so high is because, hey, the rest of the season, right? He's going to come back, and they'll be working him in, getting ready if they got a chance at the playoffs or striving to get to the playoffs. So, hey, you got to have him there respected at number 8. How about Parker Washington? Now, opportunity awaits him, right? Travis Hunter's on this. He's out for at least week 13, so the number 2 guy, and Miami Brown injury too here. Concussion, you don't know how much they'll work him in. The only downside here with Parker Washington and all those targets is he's got the number 4 at Houston. Now, may not hurt him as bad as some of the others, because if Brian Thomas Jr. does make it in there, well, he would be the focus, right? He's the traditional Parker Washington just runs through this middle there, grabbing anything he can. Has been doing pretty good here, too. You keep an eye on him. Now he's got better opportunities, right? So, hey, I picked up Parker Washington just right before the thing, and I played J-Mo Williams against. I had my choice. I played. Either one scored good. How about Josh Downs? Hey, same deal. Look at this great team. 3 weeks over 10 now, right? Hey, he's coming on with 37th in touches, right? 44th in scoring. They got a tough matchup at Atlanta this week, but Josh Downs needs to be owned. He's one of those. They'll get going here. It's crowded, though. Very crowded there with Pittman working number one and Pierce and, of course, that tight end. So, hey, fit him in there. Josh Downs. How about Rashid Shaheed and Christian Watson I have next. Rashid Shaheed, he's always active here. They keep talking about trading him, So, hey, we'll see how that runs. Chris Olave, he's been in there too. They both got, you look at those targets at number 5 in touches for Olave. Shaheed here with number 15 in touches. They passed to the wide receiver. So, hey, Shaheed's always active. Christian Watson came back last week. Now, hey, made pretty good here. So, last 2 weeks he's been playing here now. They do have a tough matchup against Philly, then the 10th schedule. But, hey, get him back in for Jaden Reed comes back. Matthew Golden's questionable with his shoulder. Wicks is questionable with a calf. Christian Watson, hey, he might be the game in town. Look for a deep one from him. Get him on your rosters anyway for later, even if he does have a tough matchup. How about Butte and Troy Horton? All right, Butte here, no targets this last week. Of course, questionable with this hamstring. But, hey, you could just, he has been scoring good, right? 19th in scoring. Look at those scoring these last 3 weeks. Now, injury concerns with a hamstring. See if he's playing. It's a tough game at Tampa, but that's why I got him down so low here. But how about Tory Horton? Hey, you could hit or miss on this one every week. If Cooper Kupp's out, that gives you a little better chance. All right, Cooper Kupp is questionable for this next week. Arizona at home. So, hey, if you want to take a flyer, there's a chance. 50-50, it looks almost like. So, hey, 50-50 for him. How about we'll finish up with a few more? Sterling Shepard. No targets this last week. Of course, they want to buy. That makes sense. But so he's coming off, hey, like it is, we said, there's not a lot going on there in Tampa. He might still in for one more week, right? A little Tez Johnson's a little hotter. How about Trey Tucker? Hey, he is the 24th in scoring, 28th in touches. I know he's on this list every week, but number 1 at schedule at Denver. This is a bad matchup, but you got to have him on here for later, because heck, he just keeps scoring. Keaton Coleman, hey, boy, just down year for him. Less than what we expected. He was one of the big disappointments, especially with that there. So, hey, he got a tough matchup too. So, man, got him on the list, though, because you eventually want him. And Calvin Austin here. Hey, he's got a tough matchup against the Chargers. You got to list him because, hey, he does have 24 touches on the year. Malik Washington, Jerry Jeudy. Ugh. Malik Washington, of course, got these 6 touches. He's been getting a lot of action, just not a lot of scoring. But he gets the touches every week. And Buffalo this week. Jerry Jeudy, ugh, look at that. But you got to have him on the list just because, hey, in the past. And then I got to finish up with just the last 2 here. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Boy, that's a number 1 passing team here. One of the greats. So you got to have him listed. And, of course, Jacoby Myers. Trade bait. And this last week, today's the day if he doesn't get traded. So, all right. And Jacoby Myers, hey, he still is solid. See what they do with him for the rest of the year. All right. All right, that's a look at my rankings. Get out there and grab them. Good luck with your fantasy football. Let's take a look at this.